Hell no. I don't
tied up the first fight, lost the second one. Like, man, you know what I mean? Like,
here's the thing, bro. Well, Triple G's from freaking, where is he from? Kazakhstan?
Yeah, Kazakhstan.
They're so stinking tough out there, bro. He probably freaking chews glass and shit's freaking steel. So, like I look at him and he was like, yeah, I lost. Big freaking deal. I'll get it back.
Yeah.
At least
I just think that for Triple G, I think that probably where he's from, his background, they want to fight to the finish. You know, they don't want no bells. They don't want anything, and that's why I say give them that third fight. You know, let them. You know, refs get off of that a little bit. Stop all of that. You know, let them bang out. Let them bang out. Two grown men, top of their game. Let them bang out once and for all. Somebody has to walk away getting knocked out. And somebody.
They both got so great chins, though, man.
They both got that strong neck.
Yeah,
they both got that strong neck.
You know, put it in the clause. We're going 14 rounds, 15 rounds.
Dang.
No, go real old school, 24.
Yeah, let's go old school. Yeah, give it to him.
Go 24.
I bet you Triple G will say yeah.
Sure, with how late these fights be going 24 rounds, I know half the people are going to be sleeping by the 16th round.
Yeah. Bro, this is crazy. This is crazy. What's next, man? What's next?
Man, I mean, that's pretty much it with fight news, bro. We got some current events, bro. We're going to switch it up here really quick.
Yeah.
Because we got a lot to talk about in a short period of time.
Dude, we do. Let's rock it. Let's go.
You ready?
Dale.
Trump's first sitting U.S. president to visit North Korea.
Oh, yes. I don't care what y'all... I love Vic. I love it. By the way, she's a poli-sci major, and so was I in college. So these are great things to talk about. But regardless of what you think of him or the party or whatever, I think this is good for anti-war and peace talks. I do. I think that he sets himself apart. I think he's a stand-up comedian in chief.
Dude, he's great. He's a comedian, bro.
He's a comedian in chief, But he knows two things. He knows that the photo op at the DMZ and the photo op of him actually walking into North Korea and back in an election season makes him look... I mean, that's a W. Because they're talking about him, good or bad. The people think that he's actually doing something.
He's always talked about.
But not in this light.
What?
Not in this light. This light is like, oh, he's actually doing something to fix the problem, which I think Vic will agree. It's all about the optics. Does it mean he's actually doing? Does it mean he's actually doing anything? I don't think so, but it looks like he is.
Yeah,
and it's a huge win for his administration.
This is what I love what he did, and I'm not a poly whatever major. I only made it to 13th grade, which is a community college. He went and told Kim Jong-un in his face. He goes, if it wasn't for me, you guys basically would be dead or would be in war. In his face. And like nobody said anything. He sat there and told him everything that he was supposed to, Trump style. And like...
That's the way to do it.
And I was like, holy crap, dude. Like,
that's the way to do it.
Kim Jong didn't say anything, dude.
I mean, what are you supposed to do? I mean, first of all, like I said, again, it's the optics. They shake hands. Trump, he's what, 6'4"?
Is he?
Towers over this fat little man. I mean,
Trump is 6'4"?
Yeah, he's a tall guy. I know he's over 6 feet.
Yeah, he's over 6
feet.
Dang.
Well, he's at least as tall as my dad. So, the optics. It makes him look strong. Do I think it's the smartest thing politically in an election season?
Absolutely.
Possibly.
It ain't the dumbest thing.
It ain't the dumbest thing. I mean, he called off a military attack, which kind of secures, at least puts to bed a lot of these anti-war libertarians that's been on his side and helped him get elected, and sets him apart from a very crowded Democratic party.
He just reminds me of a Family Guy episode, man. Like,
it's hilarious.
It's like playing with the button, like the rocket. Like, oh, bro.
No, I just imagine, right? I imagine this late night. He hops into Kim Jong Un's DMs, like, "Hey, bro, want to meet at the DMZ?" And then he goes, "No, I don't want to. I do not want to look weak."
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
It's gonna be great. So there's that. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna mean anything, but it's a cool photo op. Makes him look strong. It's good for a campaign commercial.
Yeah.
So, what's next, man?
Next, looks like we got the Democratic debate. It is a...
What the fuck was that, bro?
I personally didn't watch it, but if what I've heard is if Democrats are going to debate the way they do in such a matter, they're going to really, really divide it. And this is why Trump is in office
because
now.
Of shit like this.
And Democrats, the one thing I have to say is pick one. Pick one. Maybe pick two. That's it.
Who's your leader?
Stop. Who's your leader?
Yeah.
When you're talking about social welfare and social policies and reform in that regard, you just have to say, you know what? They're all for the same thing. Pick one. Let's not pick apart people's what they did 20 years ago. Because everybody who's running, they've made different strides, and they were different politicians, different people then, different visions, different world back then. Yeah. So for today going forward, they just need to pick one. Pick the strongest one. Pick the strongest one.
Who's the strongest one, though?
Well, there's the top three. In my opinion, the top three come out of the Democratic Party.
Don't tell me Bernie Sanders, bro.
No. Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Andrew Yang, and Tulsi Gabbard. Mm-hmm. Those are the three strongest candidates right now. And the reason is one, hey, you have no balls. What are you doing?
Yeah, my show just said two.
Sit down. Let's go. Sorry guys, our third co-host, which is usually the dog, is acting a fool today. But the three strongest candidates is straight up those three: Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang, and Kamala Harris. What I like about that is that they're all minorities.
Yeah.
And one is a military vet. Two, the other guy is just an outsider. Nobody knows. With
military vet like Trump, or a military vet
and she actually served in the Navy,
like Netanyahu, or
like she served in the Navy.
Okay.
And then we have a lawyer in Kamala Harris. Now, some of the sound bites coming out, I personally don't agree with. I think that the Democratic Party has moved so far left, they might as well be in Russia. But that's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah, bro, honestly.
Yeah. I think that as far as... It's, to me, if you're going to vote, if you're voting in the primaries, you can't look at the regular.
Don't go to Twitter. Don't go to Facebook. Don't go to Instagram.
Do your
research, bro.
Yeah, like straight up. I think that an informed voter makes the best choices, and if you do your research and you actually listen to podcasts and listen to the news and actually do what you want to do, you're gonna walk away from the Kamala Harris's, the Bidens, and the Bernie Sanders. You're gonna go to more of the non-traditional Tulsi Gabbards and Andrew Yang of the party. They're not as extreme.
Yeah, they're more conservative.
They're more moderate. I think that the UBI conversation, even though I don't necessarily agree with UBI, is a conversation to have. I think we should be having the conversations about anti-war and all of these things, which I think is more along the lines with the president's actual policies than the Democratic Party wants to admit. But that's what Americans, regular Americans, guys in the middle, not Republicans or Democrats.
The guys in the middle, and I think that's what the fall is that they're not looking at the guy in the middle, because the guy in the middle is going to vote. The woman in the middle is going to vote.
Yeah.
That person in the middle is going to vote, and that's just it. They have to be able to touch both sides and be authentic in that approach.
And I think with internet culture and cancel culture, at least in modern day, in the last election and then this one coming up, it's at least when it comes to both parties, the fringe have taken over the mainstream in both parties. And I think people like Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang, they're just a breath of fresh air because they're not from either side. They're just kind of like, we have to pick a party to run, so we might as well just pick this party.
Yeah.
So I personally, I like those two coming out of there. And I'm a Republican voting for most of my life, so I'm thinking I don't like Trump personally, so I'm praying Tulsi Gabbard or Andrew Yang get the nomination so I can vote away from the Republican Party. Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you a question. Why and if is Joe Biden in this conversation? At the top?
Because Joe Biden's the old guard. He's the old guard.
I know. He's
the
Democrat Trump version, bro.
I'm going to put this to you like this. I'm a pro wrestling guy. I love pro wrestling. I know it's super fake, but they always bring back the old wrestler to put over the new wrestler.
I gotcha.
So the Democratic Party knows that he's not going to win the primary, but he's a big name. So to put over the Kamala Harris's, the Tulsi Gabbards, or whoever decides to be, whoever the people, they need to have him so the young guys in the party, attack him, make him look bad, and be like, we're the new Democratic Party. This is the new world order. This is how we want to run things. You're the old white guy.
That's obviously not working.
That didn't work. That the people rejected in 2016.
Many times.
You know, he represents the old guard, and I think he's going to get a lot of votes just because of his name recognition and the uninformed voter. But when you get down to the nitty gritty, him and Bernie Sanders are representing of the old guard and the what's the word I'm looking for? The establishment. They are the establishment.
Yeah.
So I think at least our age group, 18 to 35, 35 to 45, we understand that we can't have failed policies on either side, which is, I think, why Trump got elected and why I think we're going to have a fresh blood coming out of the Democratic Party.
Yes.
That's my opinion. I think it's going to be a very interesting election season, which is almost like a sport. Every 4 years, we just like a World Cup.
I think Joe Biden's going to be up there in the runnings the whole time only because Obama. He was with Obama. I mean, that's all you need.
Obama hasn't even endorsed him. I don't think so. I think
most presidents don't really endorse like that. You didn't really see Bush.
That's true.
You didn't see
with
Clinton. You don't really see any of them really endorse. I mean, they're tied to the party, but they really don't get into the politics.
Yeah, even Clinton with his wife didn't.
In that regard, who's it? Is it Sierra?
248.
I don't know.
So we got that going, and
interesting, man.
It's an interesting. I think it's a very interesting election year. I'm excited to see where it goes.
It's a crap show, dude. Watching this debate, it was funny, and I feel like what they do the best, which is dividing.
Yeah.
And they're even doing that, like how you said, they are dividing amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Which, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Right now?
I mean, the primaries are meant to pander to the base and to the base voter. But I think the guys that are truly going to come out the winners are the ones that can still do that while appealing to the masses. And we'll see.
They're showing the true colors within themselves. So.
There was one controversy to come out of that debate. They shut off Andrew Yang's mic in the middle of a response.
Why?
Conspiracy theories, my friend. Conspiracy theories.
Oh my God. Not again.
It's he only has 1% of the vote according to most polls.
Okay.
So they're trying to shut up outsider thinking, at least according to some people. To me, they're probably just making a big deal out of tech issues, but that was something trending on Twitter for sure. So
interesting. Well, here's another thing. So we were just talking about Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Made a racist comment or something like that?
Oh no. Kamala Harris, I think, was saying during the debate that he's not a racist, but he can be a racist. Something along the lines. I can't remember the exact quote. He's not a racist, but can be a racist. I don't remember the exact quote. Okay. So, you know how it is.
Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick.
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's hard with politics because one would think, and maybe I'm just where I grew up and where we grew up, like race wasn't an issue. Like, yeah, Miami's ruled by Hispanics, but like I've never had that issue. And it seems that in the political arena they make race such a huge issue.
Yeah. Like, it's at the forefront of every politician.
Why? I have no idea.
It's been like this since the 90s, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. And here's my thing.
And the only real discussion is we should really talk about class distinctions, because there's people who are black who are wealthy, white who are wealthy. They don't see things the way I hate to say common man, but the working class man, mm-hmm. working class woman, working class person sees things, because the life struggle is different. And so, it's easy for politicians to persuade the masses with race division.
Yeah,
but clearly it's a class and economical division.
That's what it's always been.
And that's where it's always been. And I think we get
the have and have nots.
Absolutely it is.
It's always been the have and have nots.
Even a top running Democrat who has money and financial support, even the things that they want to discuss and talk about, they're still not being able to relate to the people. I mean, they can advocate, but they don't know what the circumstances are. They don't know.
I mean,
they're still a part of that half class.
Yep.
And again.